So we spend a lot of time in our kitchen, and it's always a priority for us to make our kitchen be a space that we love. And so when we bought our homestead a couple of years ago, our kitchen was, well, kind of a mess. It needed a complete overhaul. And so, yeah, renovating kitchens can be pretty pricey when you really break it down. And we were on a pretty tight budget. But we were able to renovate our kitchen to be a space that we absolutely love. And we're gonna share with you 5 ways that we were able to do that and save thousands of dollars.
All right, so we'll throw up some before pictures of our kitchen so you could get an idea of what we were working with. Majorly outdated, like straight from the 80s, wallpaper everywhere. Yes, we had a lot of work to do in this kitchen. By the way, if you're hearing like a hissing noise throughout this video, we're pressure canning in the background here. So our kitchen's right behind us here that we built, the new updated kitchen. But we're pressure canning, so you're gonna hear some hissing maybe in the background. Yeah, so everything about this kitchen needed an update. In all, we spent less than $8,000 total to make that transformation happen. We did do all the work ourselves. We didn't hire anything out. It was a big DIY project, and that was a big undertaking. In the end, we ended up with our dream kitchen. It was beyond anything we could have ever imagined, and we stuck within a really tight budget.
Yeah, so the first area that we were able to save a ton of money is appliances. And so in our kitchen, we just have a fridge and a oven/stove. We opted not to get a dishwasher. And so we bought both of those used. And honestly, we are huge proponents of buying used appliances. So my parents, for example, have had the same appliances my entire life. So 30+ years, they have been working with the same fridge, the same stove and oven, the same washer and dryer, and it still all works just fine. And we have so many friends who buy new appliances regularly when they update a kitchen or whatever, and literally like right after the warranty ends, a couple years later, they stop working. Like they just don't make things like they used to. So our strategy always is to find those people that are looking to get rid of their slightly outdated appliances and buy them for really cheap.
Yeah. Our fridge was like 10 or 15 years old. We actually bought it with like a fridge and the oven that, they were kind of just updating
and a dishwasher,
all the appliances.
all their matching appliances.
Yeah, and I think we spent like $100 or $150
on all
or
3 of them.
Like you could pay that much in taxes and delivery charges on new appliances from the store. So
for us, of all the things I'm going to spend dollars on, it's just not a priority for me to spend dollars on a fridge. I will say that our stove oven situation is a little unique. So when we were designing our kitchen, I did have like a dream oven in mind. It was an Aga cooker, is what they call it. They're from England. They're a lot more common in Europe than they are in the United States, and they are beautiful, and they are these large, humongous cast iron workhorses that weigh 2,000 pounds and are extremely expensive. And so I knew of these ovens, I was intrigued by these ovens, and I mentioned to Jim this would be my dream oven if we could ever find one. And so Jim took that seriously.
Yeah, so we searched like all over Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace for one of these used ovens, which actually they weigh 1,300 pounds, not 2,000.
Oh, sorry.
But
whatever, it's a lot.
We searched and we reached out to a lot of people. They do come up, but they're somewhat rare and boutique.
And even used, they can be kind of pricey sometimes.
Yeah, but we found one where like this person was remodeling their kitchen and they had one and they just wanted it gone, and I don't think they knew the potential value of it.
Either they knew or they didn't care.
Or they didn't care. Either way, we got like the deal of a century on it, and so it was we basically got it for hardly anything at all. And it's like
my dream oven that costs more than a car. So
and we love it.
And we love it. So that was a super rare thing. I'm not saying if you buy used appliances, you would always score that sort of a deal, but it does not hurt to look, because you never know what people might be getting rid of, especially if there is some sort of unique antique, old school thing, like sometimes people are just looking to unload that stuff. So anyways, by buying used appliances, we were able to save literally thousands of dollars and now have not only nice appliances, we have like way nicer appliances than we ever would have been able to afford new.
So the second way we've been able to save a ton of money updating our kitchen is cabinets. And so if you go out and buy new cabinets from the store, they're going to cost you thousands of dollars. So what we've been able to do is, this is actually like the third kitchen that we've owned 3 houses in the last several years, and this is the third kitchen that we've kind of tackled a big major remodel on. And so like the first one, we did a complete overhaul on it too, and we found used cabinets on Craigslist. Somebody was updating their kitchen. The cabinets themselves couldn't have been more than 20 years old.
Yeah, they were really nice.
They were nice. They were in good shape. They came from kind of this really nice home, and we bought them, and they were like, I don't know, we spent like a couple $100s on these cabinets. And then what we did was we painted them, and they turned out looking great. They looked like brand new cabinets afterwards, and installed those in our kitchen, and it was all for like less than $500.
Well, and then I think because we ended up buying way more cabinets than what we actually needed to fit in our space, and so we sold the extra ones and probably ended up breaking close to even
$100 or $200 back or something. Yeah. And so we went the same route on this kitchen remodel too. So we looked and we found. Actually, it was like a listing for like somebody's garage sale locally, and they bought some like showroom cabinets from a local cabinet place, and they intended to install them in their kitchen. Never happened, so they were like, we just need these things gone. And they weren't quite as cheap as the first time around.
They were brand new.
Because they were brand new and they looked awesome. And they were really high quality. But they were still really affordable. I mean, we probably paid like a fifth of what we would have spent new. So again, cabinets are definitely a place you can save thousands of dollars on. And so either, sticking with the cabinets that you have and maybe painting them, refinishing them in some way, or looking used and trying to find high quality used cabinets that are out there from other people doing kitchen remodels. And yeah, that's worked out great for us.
All right, so number 3 is countertops. And so countertops can be really, really expensive to have installed new. So you have to have custom sizes, right? And there are lots of different options that you can go with here. I was amazed when we were doing our research on this. I had a friend who was simultaneously remodeling their kitchen, and she was telling me the prices of countertops and what they were paying for new countertops, and it was many thousands of dollars, and I was literally shocked. But we kind of have a farmhousey sort of feel in our kitchen, and we love the look of butcher block countertops. And so this is actually the second kitchen that we've installed butcher block countertops in, and it is really, really affordable.
I mean, if you go to like just your standard kind of big box construction,
it's Menards around here.
Hardware store, we went to Menards, and they have like kind of pre-assembled butcher block countertops for super reasonable prices. They're just like a couple $100s for like an 8-foot length, or you can get them in 4-foot lengths, or some wider different ones. So they're pretty standard. You have to work with standard dimensions. You can't really get custom sizes. But if you just have a standard basic kitchen setup, they're super affordable. And we've been like really happy with both the look and just how they've held up, and the fact that like if anything ever does happen to them, you can just give them a quick sanding, refinish them. We just used the first time we got them, we used like a beeswax finish. This time we used tung oil and finished it with like a dark.
Yeah, we can link below. It's from Real Milk Paint Co. and we love it. It works super, super well.
And they've like stood up way better than our previous countertops that we had. Like nothing penetrates them, and they're awesome. And
the tung oil is nice too, because you can either do a light finish or a dark finish, and we did the dark, and it just looks really, really nice.
Another way that we were able to save money with countertops is we installed like a custom kitchen island that I built, and it's really big. I don't know the exact dimensions of it. That one we couldn't get like the standard butcher block from Menards for that to fit, So we did look into like getting custom butcher blocks made for that one. And again, the quotes were like coming back.
It was like more than we spent on our entire kitchen just for that countertop.
Thousands of dollars, and we're like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, I had like some leftover hardwood flooring that we had put when we bought our house. It didn't come with any floors, so we had to put in flooring. So I had some leftover like just raw, unfinished white oak hardwood flooring, and I was like, maybe I could just make a custom butcher block countertop out of that. And so that's basically what I did. I already had like a 3/4 inch sheet of plywood lying around, and then I basically kind of just like glued and fastened the hardwood flooring on top of that, made a nice little like trim piece around it, glued and nailed the whole thing together so it was really solid, sanded it down, again finished it with the tung oil from Real Milk Paint Co. And it came out beautiful. It was like, I don't know, like our own
we were so impressed.
custom white oak countertop that literally like, I mean, I guess we bought some of the materials originally, but they were all just leftover
it would have just been scrap
materials.
wood.
So like literally we saved thousands and thousands of dollars there.
Yeah, because even the lowest quotes we were getting were well in the thousands.
So the fourth thing is using reclaimed or repurposed building materials whenever possible. And so we can go through a list of examples of kind of what we did, but we were able to save a ton of money this way. So like I just mentioned, the island, I used a lot of just like random things. So we had this like old like 5-panel door from like a 120-year-old house or something like that lying around. And I was able to fit that in as kind of like the back wall of, we built like a little breakfast bar into it, and that's kind of like the wall of that. And then I finished it off with like some trim pieces that I had salvaged from another old house. And so that just came together. It has a ton of character. We used another one of those doors. You could maybe see back there, we have a sliding barn door from the kitchen to the mudroom. That was another one of those doors we were able to reuse there. A big feature of our kitchen is I searched long and hard for these like hand-hewn, kind of old reclaimed barn beams from an actual barn that came down close by to us. I picked those up, and those just add like kind of pull the whole space together. That sort of felt like a splurge. Like that was a couple $100 in these really
like not
awesome,
a totally necessary thing, but it just makes the kitchen like really, really awesome.
Yeah, and then even I don't know if you could really see behind me here, but this was like I picked up these beadboard, just wood pieces. They were like cut off. Somebody had posted them on Facebook Marketplace nearby to us, and they were just like cut off pieces from a project that they did. And I was like, I'm going to pick those up, and I know I could find a place to use those in the kitchen. Yeah, it was not a lot of money, and they were hardwood and really high quality, nice. And anyways, they fit perfectly on like we did this kind of half wall behind our kitchen sink there, and they finished that out perfectly. Yeah, so repurposed materials, just having those on hand or searching for the kind of the right options out there, you could save so much money. There's so many, like these old doors and trim pieces, things like that. People are just looking to get rid of them often. They add a ton of unique character to your space, and you could get them for not a lot of money.
And then the last thing to really make your kitchen come together, to have all of those accents that you need, right? Think lighting and bar stools and just these little accents and furnishings that are necessary to make your kitchen be complete. Those are all awesome things to buy secondhand. And so we ended up picking up pretty much everything else that we needed for our kitchen secondhand, besides maybe the sink. The sink is probably the one thing that is just really hard to find high quality sinks, and we wanted a certain kind of farmhouse sink style, so we ended up buying that. But pretty much everything else, like our lighting, we have a couple different light options that we bought, actually like 3 different lights that we found on Facebook Marketplace that just suited our space really, really nicely, and they did not cost a lot of money. Bar stools we got secondhand on Facebook Marketplace, and we also got this really, really cool, we had this kind of open empty wall space that we wanted to put some sort of hutch or buffet for some extra storage and shelving, and we found this just gorgeous old hutch that fits our space perfectly and just makes everything tie together so well. And so it's just kind of these unique purchases that you can find secondhand that can really just make your space come together. And you can really do it without spending a ton of money. And so that was kind of the last way that we were really able to finish our kitchen off without spending much money.
Yeah, like right above us here, there's a chandelier that I think we literally spent like $15 on. And yes, maybe it's not like the perfect chandelier if we were to go pick out a chandelier from a store for our dining room area. This might not be our first choice.
But it fits the space super well.
But it fits the space, you know.
We get compliments on it all the time.
Yeah, $15.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, we're not telling you don't spend any money on your kitchen or buy everything secondhand, because that's not what we think at all. But I think kind of the point is to more so think through all the things that you need and just think intentionally about what are your options. Is there some creative solution that you could come up with that could really actually save you a lot of money than maybe just going with the standard kind of thing that's on sale at your local store, but maybe you could go a different route to actually save you a lot of money. And thinking through your values too, because like for us, our dining room table was really something that we had a high value for, right? Like we spent a lot of time sitting around our dining room table, eating meals together and making memories. And so we splurged and spent a few $1,000s on this really nice handmade Farmhouse table that we just absolutely adore. And so for us, that purchase was totally worth it. We are so glad that we invested in this table. And so whatever you end up doing for your kitchen, I think just make sure it's the thing that you want and that you value and that you're invested in. So thanks so much for stopping by the farmstead today, and we'll see you next time.